Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com here with a full review video of the Moto E second generation made by Motorola. Now this is a budget device. It is $150 unlocked off contract. And my review video actually got delayed just a little bit. This is my second Moto E second generation. If you follow me on Twitter, you know my first one just died. It had a hardware defect and just wouldn't turn back on. I'm totally okay with hardware defects on any manufacturer is going to have hardware defects. Now it's just how the company handles it with replacement devices and their customer service. So I guess I can get a little bit of a review of Motorola's customer service. So the first one, like I said, died. I couldn't turn it back on. I contacted them and they were very helpful. They got me a new device within, I think, 2 days. It was very quick, very nice turnaround. So thumbs up to Motorola for the nice customer support to me. They wouldn't even know that I'd be reviewing their customer support on this YouTube video. But yeah, they just helped me out and got it totally replaced within a couple days. But enough of that. I've had a lot of hands-on now with the actual device. It's fully working now, of course. So let's go ahead and get a close look and review the device. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about design of the Moto E second generation. I'm just going to call it Moto E from now on. Anyways, there are on-screen buttons, so there's really only 3 physical buttons, and all 3 of them are on the right side. You have volume and power buttons, so volume up and down right here. They're a little bit different just because the texture, the volume buttons are smooth, and the power button kind of has some ridges to it, similar to how the side is. So you see how the side has that texture to it. The power button does as well, so you can kind of differentiate between the volume buttons and the power button. Now this texture kind of goes all the way around the device. So as you can see on the left side, there's absolutely no buttons on the top. It has it as well. Now this texture, this is actually a bumper that actually comes off. So continuing on, I'll show you that right now. So you'll see this little sliver. You can just go ahead and slide this off, and it comes off. This is where you pull this out, and it shows the IMEI number. On the right here, you have a micro SD card slot. It said supports up to 32 gigabytes, and then you have a SIM card slot right here. Now these bumpers are replaceable, so if you want to customize your device with different colors, etc., you can, I think, buy them on Motorola's website. Now the overall feel in your hand, it's pretty much all plastic all around. That nice texture kind of gives it an easy way to hold it. So overall it feels pretty sturdy. It's kind of heavy. Honestly, it just kind of feels a little heavy for this size of a device anyways. But continuing on the front, you do have a front-facing speaker actually, and your earpiece as well, so it doubles as both. Speaker quality is just decent. When it gets really loud, it kind of muffles the music a little bit. However, it's front-facing, so that's kind of a huge plus for me. And you do have a VGA front-facing camera. I'll get to that in just a second. Flipping it on over, on the back, you do have a little dimple right here, the typical Motorola dimple. It's kind of not very noticeable, at least when you hold it. Sometimes I'll put my pointer finger there. Then you have a 5 megapixel camera on the back. I'll talk about the cameras a little bit later. You'll notice there is no flash, however, around it, which, like I said, I'll talk about later. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the top, and then a micro USB slot down at the bottom. Anyways, enough about the hardware. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on, unlock it. It is running Android 5.0.2 Lollipop right now, so great. A budget phone like this can be on the latest Android operating system. Right now, 5.1 is the latest, so hopefully it gets updated to that soon, but it is on Lollipop. Now, hopefully with this device, it gets updated very quickly. You'll see Moto E second generation with 4G LTE. I'm going to back out of this now. It came default with the Google Now launcher, so you'll see I swipe over and it shows up Google Now right here on the left side, all that great information. Lock screen as well, same as stock Lollipop. There's only a couple Motorola tweaks, which we'll talk about in just a second. Like I said, swipe up to unlock. You can swipe from the left to get to the dialer, swipe from the right to get to the camera. Now, I have ran into a couple software issues with the lock screen. Now, one thing I noticed is that it happened on 2 different devices. It happened on both my first one and second one, so I know it's not necessarily a device-specific thing. So what sometimes happens is that actually when I press the power button, it'll show the home screen first and then quickly switch to the lock screen. So you'll see right there, that was a perfect example. You saw the apps and then it went to the lock screen. It's just kind of an annoyance when you're turning on the device. It shouldn't be doing that, obviously. And then also sometimes when I unlock the device, Google Now will randomly just show up. So even if Google Now wasn't open like I'm doing right now, I'll unlock it and Google Now will actually just be open for some random reason. So those are just a couple quick little issues with the software that I've ran into. But anyways, let's talk about the screen. So it has a 4.5-inch display, which is a little bit larger than the first generation, which had a 4.3-inch. The display resolution is 540 by 960. Now let's go ahead and zoom in on some things. I just kind of want to load some things up. Now with the display, it's just okay. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. you can kind of notice the pixels on certain things, etc. It's kind of hard to show on a video camera, but it's kind of noticeable. The colors look just a little bit washed out. Again, a personal opinion, but at least in my opinion, from trying out various devices, it just kind of looks just a little bit washed out and could have been a little bit better, obviously. But again, with a budget device, you can't really complain too much about something like that. If I go to wallpapers, show off some different colors as well, I can do so. So swiping through. But I mean, it's really not bad. I would just say it's just a fair display. It's kind of, I guess, what you would expect from a $150 budget device. Now when it comes to performance, it has a Snapdragon 410 processor, which is a quad-core processor running at 1.2 gigahertz. And overall, I'd say performance has just been okay. Honestly, some things are a little bit delayed, so when I press buttons, you'll notice apps kind of open a little bit slowly. Multitasking can be a little bit slow at times. If I wanted to switch between certain things, you'll see back and forth has been okay right now, but at times it might get a little sluggish and a little bit slow. Now it only has 1 gigabyte of RAM, which might turn some people off. I think it's okay to have 1 gigabyte of RAM at the moment. However, on Android 5.0 Lollipop, there's a memory leak bug. So kind of what happens is that if you have a bunch of apps open at once, they will get closed fairly quickly just because there's a memory leak. And also, I've been listening to music in the background, and if I open up enough applications while I'm listening to that music, the music's just going to get shut off and the app's just going to get closed. So it will improve. With the 1 gigabyte of RAM. Again, it's only 1 gigabyte. However, as long as the software gets updated in a timely fashion, I know that that memory leak will get fixed, and those, I guess those bugs will get squashed. Anyways, let's continue on to the camera. So there's a few ways you can open up the camera. Like I said, on the lock screen, you can just swipe over from the right, and the camera opens up anywhere. Even if the phone is off, you can double twist. Just a quick little motion that you can do, and you'll see it opens up the camera. You can double twist again, and it's going to flip to the front-facing camera. So kind of nice little feature that you can add. I mean, again, that's not in stock Android, so that's just Motorola added. You can also just go to the app icon like so. Now, when it comes to pictures, the camera, like I said, 5 megapixel camera on the back. Just kind of point and click. Focus doesn't take too long. It's not too bad for focusing, but picture quality is just not that good. Honestly, let me go to the gallery, give you an example. If the lighting situation is really good and the lighting is fine, the quality is going to turn out decent. So this is an example. You'll see this is a decent quality picture, but the lighting was pretty good. I mean, it was natural lighting. Everything looks pretty good in this picture, but when you get to lower light situations or anything like that, the quality is just not really there. You'll see another good lighting situation. It's pretty good, but overall, I mean, the camera's just not that good. And when you're in a low light situation, you don't have a flash to turn to, so things can get a little blurry, etc. I'd say overall, I wouldn't go for this if you're someone that takes a lot of pictures, I guess. I mean, the 5 megapixel camera just doesn't do it justice. And then the front-facing camera is just not that good. It's a VGA camera, and it's just very low quality, I should say. So if you take a lot of selfies as well, just the quality of the front-facing camera is just blah. Now let's talk about battery life. So you'll see I'm at about 73%. Battery life has been very surprisingly good on this device. So like I said, it's good. It has a 2390 milliamp hour battery, so 2390 milliamp hours, and it lasts me just about all day, about 4 hours screen on time total. You'll see it's at 1 hour right now and 7 minutes screen on time, which makes about sense. So, but like I said, about 4 hours consistently, and it's been great. I mean, I play games, I watch movies, I listen to music, I tether with Bluetooth. It's good. Now, another big thing about this phone, this update, is that it got LTE. So you'll see right there, the LTE icon shows up because I'm on T-Mobile LTE at the moment. So to give you an idea, let's run just a very quick speed test to give you an idea of LTE speeds. I haven't had any issues with it. It works just fine, and it pulls down some decent speeds with LTE. Again, I'm in my room, so I'm not necessarily next to a tower or anything. So let's go ahead and test these speeds. Very good, actually, where I'm at. Alright, so just finishing up that speed test, you'll see 23 megabits per second download, 5 megabits per second upload. Awesome. So very solid speeds. I've had no issues with connectivity. The internal radios connecting to LTE are just very good on this device. Now finally, I want to talk about a couple more software things. Like I said, it runs essentially stock Android. However, there's a couple more tweaks. These Moto tweaks that it has. Now assist, adjust automatically, where if you're sleeping it won't turn the screen on. Meeting, it'll help keep you focused with no notifications, etc. Reacting to motion. Now twist for quick capture, I already showed that off. And then display, notify a Moto display. So now what Moto display is essentially when you have the device sitting there without the screen on or anything, and you move it, it doesn't react to you getting close to it, but if you move it, it's going to show notifications right there on that screen, whether it be a text message, email, etc. Now, it does not have an AMOLED display, so you might think that might drain battery if this shows up, just because it's essentially lighting up the whole screen in the background. You'll notice it if you can see it with your naked eye, but it's really not that big of a battery drainer. If you think it is, just turn it off. Alright, so that's just about everything I wanted to cover close up on the device. I wanted to give some final thoughts. Honestly, the main question when it comes to budget devices is it worth X amount of price? So is it worth the $150 to get this Moto E second generation? And I say it is. It's worth $150 for sure what you get with it. Like I said, you get Lollipop on a budget device. That's kind of hard to come by nowadays. I said there's a memory leak on Lollipop at the moment. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Hopefully this gets updated soon. I'm assuming it's going to, but you never know. Also, I mean, especially with together with the 1 gig of RAM, it's kind of a bummer when your app closes or you have to wait for this this app to open back up just because the memory leak's occurring. And again, the camera's just really not that great. I've missed even just having an LED light just for a flashlight. Honestly, it's kind of rough when you're in a dark situation and you don't have a flashlight on your phone. But again, battery life is great. Form factor is good. I don't mind a 4.5-inch display. I know a lot of people might like larger displays, but I don't mind 4.5 inches. And overall, I would say it's a solid device for $150, especially $150 unlocked. Really hard to beat at the moment, but that's about it. So I would say go for it if you're in the market for a $150 device and you like some of the specs. Again, battery life was very good. So there you have it. Moto E second generation made by Motorola. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you guys liked the review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to me as well. Lots more to come. Not necessarily on this device, but other budget devices, flagship devices. Just lots coming up on this channel, so stay tuned for that. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. All links in the description of the video below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.